Hello everybody, how's everybody doing today? It's Thursday. You know what Thursday means? That's right, garbage day. Got the perfect candidate this week, I certainly do. We're going to talk about KASHYAP Patel. His mommy actually gave him that name. And I just want to know, KASHYAP, why are you so thirsty? Are you that hungry for attention that you just have to make shit up? You wouldn't have reached the halfway point in any decent police academy, police college. We call them police college here. I don't know what you call it down there. Other than the movie Police Academy, you still wouldn't have made it halfway through that. So before I go any further, I would just like to say, cheers, dears. I hope everybody's doing well on this Thursday. And if you're new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you disagree with anything on here, I'm up for a disagreement, that's fine. But don't be a shit. Don't be nasty. Don't be cruel. You can state an opinion and you can leave it at that. It's okay. It's okay. And if you can't, then maybe you should just continue scrolling by like one of the people on here yesterday did. I don't like your politics. Goodbye. And that's fine. Can't ask for a better negative comment than that, right? So I'll go with that one. And today's shirt is, I love this shirt. Right? I may be crazy, but crazy is still way better than stupid. And anyone that believes the shit coming out of the White House these days is intellectually challenged, shall I say. So hangers on, welcome, and let's get into this, shall we? All right. As soon as Conservative Boy was hit, within seconds, you, KASHYAP Patel, could not wait to get in front of the Twitter sphere, because apparently you were sitting down to dinner in New York City. But you couldn't wait to start spreading lies, innuendo, and fabricated evidence. You weren't even on the scene. You didn't know what was going on. And I don't think anybody was telling you that was made up out here. That's where that was. So you spread hate first and foremost against the trans community. You put the blame and the focus on Democrats, who, by the way, most of us said that Conservative Boy did not deserve to be taken off of this mortal coil. We stood for his widow and his 2 young babies. We all did. And we all voiced our support against political violence. But you only see one half of the coin, because you're half-assed, in my opinion. You are supposed to be the director of one of the best policing agencies in the world, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Instead, however, America got an angry little backroom podcaster with his little sweatshirts and ball caps, who talked a good game in his little backroom bullshit, but stirred up hate and vitriol against the Biden government, seeing as you're in policing and all. This was one of the things that you hit, was he wants to defund the police, which was a fucking lie. I'm just saying. It was a lie. Biden gave thousands of policing jobs to Americans. Thousands. And he improved policing in the United States. He gave them more education. He improved community policing. And he upgraded equipment to help them do their jobs safely. You can't police the public without educated personnel and the tools to do the job correctly. My husband became a police officer after 28 years of military service. So he continued, unlike you, to serve with honor, pride, and integrity. You were dining at a New York restaurant, Cipriani's, I believe it was, one of the hardest to book. So what are you doing? Using your clout to get in there? I'm the FBI director. You got to let me in. Is that what you did? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that for a second. And apparently it didn't even open till 7. But you at 6:21, were you waiting in line? Or were you still at your hotel waiting to barge in and show everybody that the FBI director was there, everybody was safe? At 6:21, you treated the subject in the name, but I say conservative boy's killing, is in custody, he said. An hour and a half later, at 7:59, you had to tweet again. The suspect has been released after interrogation. See, you can't be jumping the gun in your position. And then, so to speak, and then another person was detained, and again, you tweeted you got the killer, you got your man, only to have to backtrack again. A retired FBI agent told Reuters, what he did yesterday has never been done by any FBI director before him. The investigators need to sort through all of the initial intelligence before putting out factual evidence. The FBI does not run its investigations on social media. Unlike you. Think that's the way to go? Another law enforcement said that his name, the probe underscores KASHYAP Patel's public inability to meet the moment as a leader. And a White House official said that his public posts were unprofessional. You think? Were unprofessional and unacceptable. You know how incompetent you have to be when an arsehole like Christopher Rufo, you know, the guy that offered the Don't Say Gay law in Florida and was the one that came up with, they're teaching critical race theory to our babies, we can't have that, which was all bullshit, still bullshit, because you only get that in undergraduate school, in a university. They're not teaching it to kindergarten students, just saying. That guy said, Christopher Rufo, said it's time for Republicans to reassess whether Patel is right for the job. He performed terribly in the last few days, and Rufo said he's been talking to other conservative leaders who are questioning the FBI's leadership structure, which also includes Patel, Bingo Bongo Gonzo, and Andrew Bailey, who, in my opinion, was put in there to babysit both Bingo Bongo and KASHYAP, because they're both incompetent. A White House spokesperson said Patel's team worked day and night to capture the gunman. No, it was only a little over a day and a half, 33 hours. Wasn't day and night, day and night. They released some pictures. The kid's father said, that looks like my kid, talked to his kid and turned the kid in. So how much work was there? Seriously. The father turned him in to local police. Now, it looks like he lied about the suspect being trans. He lied about the trans markings on the casings, lied about his political affiliation to stir up hate and violent rhetoric against Democratic lawmakers and any other liberals to please the Mango Moose Knuckle. Because as soon as he came out and said that, Trump was right on that. He was right on that. This, I have to tell you, Mr. KASHYAP, there is no I in team. There is no I in team. There are thousands of people on that team. And you just step into, what, hero worship yourself? You are a gossip monger. That's what you are. You are a little gossip monger that lashes out like a 3-year-old that was just got caught doing bad shit. As soon as they poke you and say, oh, excuse me, that's not right. That's wrong. What you just did there was wrong. And you're like, no, I didn't. It was me. I didn't do that. No. Yeah, and you lie through your ass. Even though you're sitting on it, so it must be hard to squeeze them out, don't you think? So you, in my opinion, have a seriously low stress threshold. Because you can't take the pressure, because I don't believe that you have a fully developed prefrontal cortex. That would be the part of the brain that is responsible for impulse control. You, the Mango Moose Knuckle, none of those people there have that. This is not developed. It's not. You have no impulse control. You are that's a bad thing to have for a leader of a giant police agency like you run. Or you show up at, 3 times a week. No impulse control. It was also said that the conservative boy's shooter might be found not guilty because of your incompetence. and all the bullshit that you put out there in the press. And the lowest they're going to get is they don't think he can get a fair trial now because of your bullshit and your bungling. The finer details, like the type of ammunition, this blew my mind. I watched this last night, by the way. 30 millimeter round from 30-06, right? That would shatter elk's bones, which are like 1,000 times stronger than a human's bones. And you know what the Utah coroner said? And I still can't believe that he didn't have a coroner do that right after the incident. But anyway, he actually said that the conservative boy's bone density was so dense that it literally stopped that 30 millimeter round. It lodged in his neck. Seriously? No exit wound, apparently. No exit wound. That thing would have went in, they say it was here, but that would have went in there and come out here. Just saying. So if anybody out there believes this bullshit, you are too far gone, my friend. You are too far gone if you believe that round from that 30-06 just lodged in his throat because his spinal column stopped that bullet. Do you know how weak vertebrae are? They allow you to do this so they move and they bend. An elk's bone is like this. That bone would shatter that. So, never mind. We'll move on. At the latest mass shooting at the Dallas, Texas ICE facility, 2 detainees were shot. I think it's 3 now. It's up to 3 were shot. 1 passed. And the shooter unalived himself, apparently. So after KASHYAP's first high-profile case and his performance, do you believe anything that comes out of his tweets or his gob? Any of you? Do you believe anything that comes out of his mouth now after the way he screwed up the other unaliving? I don't trust them. The DOJ or the FBI at this point. I don't trust them at all. They apparently only work for the Mango Moose Knuckle in a very small family business. So, as soon as this kaputter hit the new news cycle, Cash was once again sowing seeds of violent political violence, saying the shooter was Antifa. So I am, by the way, also totally Antifa. I hate fascists. I am anti-fascist. That's what Antifa is. It's not a club. It's not a club. No membership. And because, for entertainment purposes only, someone used a blue Sharpie to write anti-ICE on one of the casings and went straight to anti-fascist political rhetoric because they said it was anti-ICE. That was written in a blue Sharpie. And Patel said the Kapoor was targeting ICE. But the funny thing is, 4 people were hit. The shooter and 3 detainees. 1 has passed. So where's the logic in that? Will you tell me, please? The vice president himself, and there wasn't even one ICE agent that was even grazed. I don't even think they ducked. I don't. And the vice president himself, Mr. Guyliner, so close to a smoky eye you can smell it. In my opinion, entertainment purposes only, is on the down low. Maybe his phone was pinging at the funeral as well. Said the shooter was politically motivated to go after law enforcement and those enforcing the border. And he was a left-wing extremist. The vice president said that. Way to bring the country together, asshole. So, not to be outdone by that, Patel pipes up to say, and I think he only did this because the suspect is no longer here to tell the tale, says the Sharpie writings, and I'm pretty sure one of his guys wrote that, in my opinion, only entertainment purposes only. I just have a gut feeling that was put there not by the papoo. That this guy downloaded ICE locations, searched ballistics of the conservative boys' kaputting video, and searched ICE apps, which indicates, he said, a high degree of pre-attack planning. Well, maybe before, you fucking amateur. Maybe for you. Because half of America knows where ICE is, because they have to be so loud and proud when they roll into town with their armored vehicles and 8 and 10 of them hanging off the side of it, all fully armed, like they're going into Ukraine. But yeah, half of America knows where ICE is, and they telegraph their own shit to let people know where they are. And you know what else? This is just me thinking here. But how do they know that shooter wasn't after the detainees? Maybe that's why they never hit any ICE agents. The shooter was after the detainees and managed to get 3 of them. Unalived 1 and 2 are in hospital. 1's in critical care. That's my opinion. I think that he was after detainees, not law enforcement. Maybe he just didn't want the government to have to pay to house them. That's how sick these fuckers are. I'm just saying, that's how fucking sick they are, that they would come up with a reason like that. Because only the detainees were hit. None of the ICE agents were in peril at all. And if you quit marching into town with your masks on and fully armed and everything else, maybe if you just knocked on somebody's door, presented a warrant, they'd go with you. Like Joe Biden's team did. You didn't see them raring down the streets in armored vehicles. Maybe if you just showed up like a civilized fucking person with an arrest warrant and asked for their credentials, maybe they would just come peacefully. And none of this shit and none of the expense would be had to give you guys all a $42,000 signing bonus. Just maybe. Maybe you should do that with your military. Just saying. Anyway, 99 loves you. Be good, be safe, and please take care of you first so you can take care of somebody else. Remember, I may be crazy, but crazy beats stupid every day. I love you all. Hangers on. Give somebody a hug. Give them a smile. Say hello. How you doing? As soon as you do that, they'll smile back. Might be the only one they get that day. Anyway, love me, like me, share me. Don't forget to subscribe. I love you all. Take care. Oh, wait.
There's Vivi. There she is. Oh,
she needs a haircut bad. I'm just saying. I love you.